Hello and welcome to my channel. As you may know by now, I absolutely love upcycling fabric from the thrift store like bed sheets or curtains into new things. So this week I'm gonna be transforming. Actually, they were my own bed sheets. They were bamboo, so I think it's gonna be really nice. They felt really nice to use as sheets. So of course, as clothing, they're gonna be amazing. So I'm gonna transform those into kind of yoga pants, but these are very special. They tie in the back or in the front, and then it goes in between your legs, and you tie it in the front. I'm gonna leave some inspo pictures somewhere. And if you'd like to see how I accomplish this, please stick around for the video. So first I'm laying down my piece of fabric onto the floor, and it's actually folded in half, so whenever I draw on the top layer of fabric, when I cut, it's gonna catch both layers. And all the measurements will be linked somewhere in the description box, so if you'd like to recreate this DIY, you will be able to. So for this step, I'm only going to be using my measuring tape as well as this little piece of wax pen. It's a special pen made specifically for drawing on fabric. So now I'm gonna draw out a U shape for the crotch area. So I actually measured my crotch and I'm transferring that onto the paper, making sure everything is symmetrical. I also want you to kind of curve and smoothen, soften actually the bottom of the pants so it's not squared when you get to the bottom. So I'm actually pinning down the fabric to make sure that when I cut, everything will be symmetrical and nothing will move, as well as smoothing down the fabric so that creases or wrinkles won't interfere with my cutting fabric. So this is in red, it's the crotch, then you have the waist in green, and the ankles in blue. So if this can give you a good idea of what your piece of fabric should look like. So for the waistband, I'm using the top trim part of my bed sheet, but just a rectangular piece of fabric folded in half would do the trick. And I'm folding both the top and bottom inside and then sandwiching it by flipping it one more time like so, and I'll be pinning it down to keep it in place while I do the rest. And then I'm gonna sew along this long line in a straight stitch. This way I won't have to flip anything inside out, and all the raw edges will be tucked away and won't fray. So just a simple straight stitch all along the waistband. Now I see that here I made a mistake, but at this step you only want to be pinning down the crotch area, which is the U. And I'm adjusting my sewing machine to a width of 4, a stitch length of that blue setting, and then using that specific stitch, which is gonna act as a serger to keep my raw edges from fraying. So here I'm gonna sew together only that U shape, which represents the crotch area. Now I'm doing a little fit check, and I did a mistake there. I sewed together the waistband, but if you don't do that, it won't be a mistake. So just do as I say, not as I did. So to correct my mistake, I simply cut off the part that I sewed and that I shouldn't have. So just sew the crotch and not both waistbands. Now doing a second fit check. The shape was right, but the waistbands were a little bit too long, so I decided to cut off about 12 centimeters on all four edge. So you're gonna see here that it was way too long and it wrapped all around my waist, but I didn't want that, so I decided to measure how much I should cut off. Actually, that's not measuring, that's eyeballing it, so don't do that. But yeah, so I cut off about 10 to 12 centimeters and soften the edges. And now I'm folding it in half so that they are both symmetrical. And now I'm moving on to the very tedious task of hemming all around the blue line that you see here by folding it in twice. So you may know that I absolutely love to save when buying fabric. Unfortunately, going to the thrift store, you may not find what you're looking for. But I wanted to talk to you about Fabric Wholesale Direct, which allows you to buy fabric at wholesale prices, which means you save a lot when you buy some fabric. I absolutely love them because they allow you as a consumer to buy at such low prices. So for this project, I recommend a few different fabrics that they have available, like this natural woven linen at only $14.99 a yard, this knit jersey at only $5.99 a yard, and the winner, this cotton polyester blend at only $2.99 a yard. So this video is not sponsored, but if you'd like to check them out, you can use my discount link in the description box. So for this waistband, I'm actually folding it in half to cut it into different pieces because we need 2 waistbands. Now I did them a little bit too short, but that's fine, it still works and you can make them longer. Again, I'm gonna fold them in half to find exactly where the middle is, to line it up with the middle seam onto my pants, and then I'm gonna tuck the raw edge in and pin my waistband on top of this, so the raw edge will be hidden away. So I'm gonna pin down both waistbands onto my pants and then sew along them on a straight stitch setting. So I did both waistbands, and now I'm gonna sew along the edge to sandwich all these pieces together. And for the final touches, there's 3 steps that you can do that I needed to do to finish this off, but maybe you will be able to skip some steps. So I'm gonna iron my project down to make all the seams and hems much more crisp and pretty. Always be careful when using an iron. Then I'm snipping off any loose threads just to again make sure that everything looks clean. As you may know, I absolutely love to use old fabric. Unfortunately, this one was so old that it had patches of it that were filled with lint or pills, as I think they are called. So to give them a brand new look, I used my one blade razor from the dollar store to kind of shave off all of this lint. And then using a piece of tape wrapped around my fingers, I can collect all of those little bits of fabric to give my fabric a brand new look. So this is how your pants should go on. First, you're gonna tie them in the back, then it goes in between your legs, and you tie them in the front. And this is how they go. I give them a little shake for them to fall into place. And so here's me awkwardly modeling my brand new pants for you. I absolutely hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you want to recreate it for yourself, you can find the measurements down in the description box below. And if you liked my video, please subscribe, like, and I hope to see you again soon.